But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have a, even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters.
It's alive and well.
So what's charging the batteries right now? What's the source of
here.
You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
President Biden struggles heavily on Jimmy Kimmel last night. The EVs, hypocrisy around the electric vehicles. There was an assassination attempt on Brett Kavanaugh. Not a full attempt, but a guy went to Washington, D.C., where Brett Kavanaugh lives, to kill him. And did Chuck Schumer instigate it? We'll ask those important questions. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go.
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually their name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. Today it is June 9th, the year of our Lord 2022, new you in 22. Got a lot of interesting stuff. Joe Biden is in California. Caused some traffic problems with a bunch of my friends who live in LA. It was on Jimmy Kimmel last night and kind of didn't do all that great. Also, there was a guy who went to D.C. with the plan to kill a Supreme Court justice. Did Democrats instigate that? We'll take you through a more fair argument in just a quick second. And also electric vehicles. Hilarious video that you have to see regarding the hypocrisy surrounding the electric vehicles. But I want to get to this. President Biden struggled hard on late night TV last night. Not a good look for the president. President Biden is in California now, and in California, he decided to stop by Jimmy Kimmel to do a late night show. Speaking off the cuff and extemporaneously is not one of the president's strong suits nowadays in his old age, and it showed. Watch this clip. This is a little bit long, but it's difficult. I was watching a video of Tucker from about, 5-6 months ago, where he said something that I feel bad making fun of this elderly person that happens to be the president of the United States, because I hope in my old age, I don't get made fun of the way that he's getting made fun of. But at the same time, you have to criticize and ridicule the president of the United States when it seems that he's not up to the job at hand. So watch this clip as he tries to string words together and make a coherent statement. This is rough. Check this out.
So there's a lot of major things we've done. But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
well,
we haven't been able to communicate it.
But look how the press has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have a, even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on the nightly news. Mm-hmm. So instead of asking a question, anyway, it just everything gets sensationalized in ways that. But I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look.
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more, if you don't mind. I'm sorry. We have some of those commercials. We have some biracial commercials we need to show.
Yikes, dude. Oh, man. Like, again, I'm not trying to sit here and just make fun of the fact that the dude is clearly way past his prime. But at the same time, this guy is the commander-in-chief of the greatest military on the planet and the leader of the free world. So what are we supposed to do? He's trying to make the case there that the Biden administration has done a lot of great things, but we haven't been able to effectively communicate what we've done to the American people. In other words, what he's actually saying is the American people are too dang stupid to see how great things are, which they are not. But that wasn't the focal point of that. The focal point of that was he said, well, it's and lost his place a couple times and kind of went on a screed. And then Jimmy Kimmel decided, hey, I need to take a break because probably not because they were running up against a hard break, but instead because We need to get this train back on the tracks is what probably happened. Then Joe Biden said this, and I thought this was super not cool to say, again, as the president. Look, well, we'll discuss on the other side. Let me know in the comment section what you think. A lot of Let's Go Brandons in the comment section. A lot of embarrassing, says Kathleen. Wendy says, what is he even saying? Yeah, it's rough. But watch this. This is where it gets interesting because apparently this is what he actually thinks. Also, if you haven't already, click the little like button, click the little share button. Really appreciate you doing that. Helps us get out to more people and continue doing what we're doing. There's way more people that are watching right now than click the little like button. So watch this. This is a clip of Joe Biden yesterday on Jimmy Kimmel saying untrue things.
You'd often get asked, look, the Republicans don't play it square. Why do you play it square?
What?
Yeah. Well, guess what? If we do the same thing they do, our democracy will literally be in jeopardy.
Well,
not a joke.
And I understand that argument, but also it's like you're playing Monopoly with somebody who, won't pass go and won't follow any of the rules. And how do you ever make any progress if they're not following the rules?
Well, you got to send them to jail, There's that little box in there.
Directly to jail?
Go directly to jail.
Okay, so a bunch of people are going to jump on that one and says, Joe Biden claims that Republicans should be in jail. I don't think that. I think he's just making a joke referencing Monopoly. I'm not going to sit here and say that he said that. Maybe that's what he believes in his heart, but he made a joke regarding Monopoly that Jimmy Kimmel brought up. So we'll leave it at that. But then he says, well, people often ask, well, why do you keep playing it straight when Republicans don't at all play it straight? Dude, what? I hate to bring up a million examples, so I guess I'll just use the two most prevalent ones. Remember when Joe Biden said that the Georgia voting laws were Jim Crow on steroids? One, diminishing Jim Crow and all of its awfulness. Jim Crow was terrible. And Joe Biden said that the voting laws in Georgia showing your ID to vote and having reasonable voting hours, wow, big change, was worse, exponentially worse than actual Jim Crow. So that's him, a Democrat, playing it straight. Oh, and also most recently and probably more notably, remember when Joe Biden has been bragging about having lessening the deficit of the United States of America's spending? He's been going on about that for the last couple of weeks. The Washington Post even, I think, gave him 4 Pinocchios, which is the maximum amount of Pinocchios for that statement, saying that, we've shrunk the deficit. Okay, well, if you really want to get into that, remember it was one senator, Joe Manchin, that stopped the Build Back Better $6 trillion plan. Now, on paper, it was $3.5 trillion, but a lot of people think that after the sunsetting, it was going to be even more than that, probably close to $5 or $6 trillion. So he tried to ram through $6 trillion of more spending. And then when it didn't get through the Senate and was never able to get to his desk to sign it, he said, well, look at all the money we're saving. We're lowering the deficit. Nobody's ever lowered the deficit this much, even though I just tried to spend all that money. It's like me going to my wife, going to the auto dealership and trying to buy a Ferrari with money that I don't have. And then I try to make the purchase and my credit card declines. And then I go home and tell my wife, look at how much money I've saved. I didn't buy that Ferrari. Like, no, you would have, but the credit card declined, dude. So that's the thing that I have a problem with. Look, the bottom line is politicians are politicians. At least be honest with what you're lying about. That's what I would say to them. But he continues on. There's one more clip here. I forget what the clip is. I'm gonna play the clip and just see what this see what it is. Watch this, and we'll discuss on the other side.
It's my daughter's birthday.
Oh, how about that?
Jimmy gets a good gab.
Happy birthday, baby.
Does somebody have to remind you of all that stuff with all this craziness going on?
I think Jimmy thought in his mind, said, oh, does somebody have to remind you of that? And then thought, oh, shoot, that's a bad, because people have to remind him of things because he forgets a lot because he has dementia. In his head, I think Jimmy said, does somebody have to remind you about this stuff? Oh, shoot, with everything going on? And Joe Biden says, no. But I thought that was a funny jab in there. I want to get to more serious fare before we talk about the electric car thing. The electric car thing is hilarious. So if you've got some time, a couple minutes, stick around for that. But there was a dude arrested yesterday plotting the assassination of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh, this is out of, I believe this is from Fox News. An armed man who threatened to kill Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was arrested outside the justice's home in Maryland on Wednesday, yesterday, in the latest instance of violence and intimidation towards pro-lifers since the unprecedented Supreme Court draft opinion leaked last month. I'm not going to use the guy's name. It is here. You can find it if you'd like. I will not be using it. But he is 26 from Simi Valley, California, was carrying a gun, ammunition, a knife, pepper spray, a screwdriver, zip ties, and other gear when he was arrested by Montgomery County Police Department officers in the early morning of Wednesday, according to the criminal complaint. So-and-so's name, hold on, pause really quick. People have heard of this, but is it at the top of the fold of anybody's news story? Is Joe Scarborough talking about it on MSNBC this morning? I don't actually know. I didn't watch. Maybe he is. Kudos to you for doing so, Joe. But is anybody else talking about this? Because I feel like this is a huge story. Tim Pool tweeted earlier this morning, like, why isn't this at the top? What did he say? Why isn't this, the assassination attempt on Kavanaugh, the top of the news cycle? Because it is massively important and massively telling of the times. Dude's name, who was charged with attempted murder of a federal judge, told police he was upset about Kavanaugh's position on Roe versus Wade and the Second Amendment, the complaint said. The arrest follows weeks of heated rhetoric from pro-choice advocates, including a following the May 2nd draft opinion leak that they were going to signaled they were going to overturn Roe versus Wade. Now, here's the question. A lot of people talk about the January 6th riot. There's a big hearing tonight in prime time. We'll talk about that in just a second. But a lot of people talk about, well, Donald Trump incited an insurrection. Okay. If you think that, I don't believe that, by the way, and I don't think that's true. And I think it's very, very difficult to prove that he incited anything. Did he act great in that circumstance? Probably not. There's definitely things he could have done differently, but that's not what we're talking about here. If you believe that Donald Trump incited the January 6th riot, what do you make of this from Chuck Schumer? Watch this regarding Brett Kavanaugh and his safety.
And they're taking away fundamental rights. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
What does that mean? Is that inciting violence?
You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
That is Senator Chuck Schumer gesturing somewhere. I'm not sure where he's standing in front of. He might be standing in front of the Supreme Court, but he specifically calls out Gorsuch and Kavanaugh and says, you won't know what hit you. You will pay the price for your decisions. What does that mean exactly? What price does he have to pay? Politically speaking, it's not like he's up for re-election. So I'm just curious, Senator Schumer, what price are you talking about? Are you inciting violence? Now, I don't believe that, just so you know. I'm not sitting here saying that that's actually what I believe. I think that heated rhetoric is commonplace nowadays. All I'm trying to say is that if we're trying to be consistent about things, and you want to call Donald Trump inciting an insurrection, maybe if you believe that, maybe you should also look at your own side. Maxine Waters telling people to get in the face of Republicans they see out in public. What was her term? Push back on them. Maybe you look at Chuck Schumer saying you're going to pay the price. I don't know. Maybe we should have some consistency in our political heated rhetoric here. Steve says Schumer should be arrested. Schumer should absolutely be in jail, but never pays for his crimes. Vote, says Tim. Tommy says it's a hate crime. Yeah, interesting. The double standard here is quite interesting. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm not advocating for Chuck Schumer to go to jail over that. I think that's just how politicians talk. I would love to be a part of lowering the political rhetoric temperature, but that's just where we are at nowadays. All I want is some consistency. Now, speaking of consistency and some humor, we're going to end it on this kind of funnier note. Funnier-ish note? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. Electric car hypocrisy is an interesting thing going around. If you haven't been paying attention, gas prices continue to hit record highs. Today, the national average was $4.97, the highest it has ever been, even adjusted for inflation. Gas prices are astronomically high. So what do Pete Buttigieg and other super lefties say that you should do? Hey, idiot, you can't afford $8 gas. You should buy a $50,000 electric car. Well, that's just comical. But even more comical is yesterday, I forget this woman's name. A woman from GM, a spokesperson, was at a hearing somewhere talking about the Chevy Volt and how great it is to have electric vehicles. And somebody decided to record it and ask the right questions finally. Dude, sorry if didn't get your name here, but I'm going to play this clip. If you haven't already, click the little like button and click the little share button. There are more people still watching now than have clicked the like button the entire time. A couple thousand of you watching. I only see about, 500 so people clicking the like button. Really appreciate you doing that. It helps us get to more people. Also, the little share button really, really helps us out. But this is the electric car hypocrisy nonsense. The video is kind of long and the punchline is at the very, very end. But trust me, it is worth you watching. Check this out.
Extremely grateful to be here today, and in fact, this is a chance for me to say thank you more formally. The Chevy Volt is upstairs. We'll be able to take a look at it. We've got about 1,000 photos.
Yeah.
This is the plug. It's as simple as that.
The batteries are in the trunk?
No, the battery in this particular design is a T-shape right down the center and across the back seat area. Because everybody thought we killed the electric vehicle. No, we didn't. It's alive and well.
So what's charging the batteries right now? What's the source of
Well, here, it's coming from the building.
I mean, is it what's our mix of power?
Oh, actually, Lansing feeds the building.
What's that?
Lansing feeds power to the building. So I don't know.
They're
I bet you they're a bit of coal. Oh, they're heavy on natural gas, aren't they?
right now the car's charging off of your grid.
Right. It would be charging off our grid, which is about 95% coal.
Dude, okay, so seriously, people with your electric car thing, just so you know, electricity has to be generated from somewhere. It does. You can't just make electricity out of thin air. And the building that they're at that's touting this, well, look at this electric car. We are lessening pollution. I'm so proud of our electric car company. Well, the building that it's charging at is powered by this Lansing company that is 95% coal. So get out of here with your emissions and your nonsense. Now, just to make it clear, I am not a non-green energy person. If we could get all of our energy from the currents in the ocean and generating turbines or windmills or solar power, if we could create entirely renewable energy, I'm all for it. And I think everybody is. The problem that we all have is rushing to this non-possible solution of everything being electric. Well, electric cars, you should drive an electric car. And if you don't, you hate the environment. Even though the building that's powering the electric car is entirely coal, effectively 95% coal. So get out of here with your nonsense of, well, we're better than you because we drive Teslas. Actually, sorry, you can't drive a Tesla. The administration doesn't like Tesla because they're not unionized. Chevy, on the other hand, Tesla's the only electric car company that has made any sort of a dent in American culture or electric car culture at all. And they never get mentioned by the White House. The reason is because they're not unionized. GM, Ford, all of those other companies that are also creating electric cars, always in the news. President Biden is haphazardly driving them around, thank God, in an empty parking lot. But not Tesla. I don't know. That was just a funny freaking thing of like, oh, hoity-toity me with this electric car. The battery is actually a T-shape and it goes down the middle, and we are so mightier than thou. We drive electric cars powered by coal, which is the very thing that we are trying to eliminate. Get out of here with your nonsense. Let's see. That's going to do it for us today. Actually, yeah, that's going to do it. We had this other clip from CNN that I'm trying to figure out if we want. No, the next clip, this clip will be better tomorrow because tonight is this primetime hearing on gun legislation. Sorry. No, it's not the gun legislation. The gun legislation is happening in the House right now. What's happening tonight in primetime is the J6 committee. So effectively, the government and Congress is saying, look, I know inflation is through the roof. I know there's no baby formula around. I know there are food shortages happening. I know that gas prices are higher than they've ever been. And I know Americans are hurting. But everybody, please pay attention to this event that happened a year and a half ago. The January 6th committee is happening in prime time, which is just bull. Thursday night at prime time, they hired, if you don't know this, Democrats in the committee hired an ABC producer to make it more TV friendly and to fully dramatize what happened on January 6th, which again was awful and bad. But the January 6th committee is just a farce in like trying to, I don't know, score political points. I think it's going to backfire. I think the talking points from the right are going to be effective in saying, look, people are hurting financially and struggling severely. And you guys are talking about an event that happened 18 months ago that we all agree was bad. What gives, dude? So we'll bring some clips of that, I'm sure, tomorrow. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media accounts. I'm starting to post funnier reels and making things that are funnier. At least I think so. Give me a follow on Instagram. That's probably the biggest platform that I use most often, even though I don't use social media all that often. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Getter, True Social, YouTube. Shoot, are there any other ones? Ibble. Dang it, I don't know. You can follow me on any of those social accounts at JOBOB. You'll pretty much be able to find me anywhere. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. God bless America.